see the boy for me. Tell me that I love him.
Good evening. This is Wallingford Lee. Again, we are here on the Queen's Grapevine, part 2, talking about the new mayor that just took over the city and some of the changes and challenges that are expected of him. In our previous program, we had the opportunity to talk to our special guest, where we talk about the education system, the importance of the education system, the sensitivity of the education system. We talked about the new Police Commissioner Brunton, the expectation of him and his track record of what happened previously under the Giuliani administration, and supposedly the great work that he did in Los Angeles, the great job that he did in Boston, and some of the work that he did here, and what do we expect for him going forward, and the challenges that he has also as a police commissioner. We didn't have the opportunity to talk about the new speaker that has joined Mayor de Blasio. We're talking about Melissa Viverito, who won in a going away fashion. So we want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about who she is and what she brings to the table. It gives us a great deal of pleasure and, of course, satisfaction to have again on this program here, part 2, our special guest, Jaime Segui. Jaime, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit about Melissa Viverito. We know that she she had a big challenge from a councilman in Brooklyn, and she won going away. But it's important to note also that the mayor was pushing to have her, because I think this is the person that he wanted to be a speaker. Let's talk in terms about A, who is she? B, what does she bring to the table? 3, what are the challenges? And more importantly, the proudness that we should have as minorities to have a person with her qualification on this spot coming in.
Well, it's a historical event to have a Latina speaker of the city council. It's the second most powerful position in the city council. I'm sorry, in the city of New York. And that is significant. We're talking about a budget of $70 billion plus. And this was always decided between two people. The mayor usually controls more than 90% of that budget.
Yes.
And the other 10 to 8% is basically discussed in the city council. Even when it's approved by both,
sure,
most of the budget belongs to the mayor. However, that significant 8 to 10% is, like I said, is extremely significant, because there is a couple of millions and billions of dollars there out of 70 billion. So it's good to have someone that finally comes from a district that is a poor working class district, that basically can be more sensitive to those issues. So in that sense, it is extremely historical and it's significant. And it also caused a sense of pride for especially the Latino community, that finally there is someone in a position, even when she's still representing a district, the position is seen and acts like a citywide position. We don't have any citywide elected official in New York City. All the Latinos represent their own district. There has never been in the history of New York, and someone may correct me, maybe something happened during the 30s that I don't know, but there has never been a Latino that has held citywide office. The closest one was Hernan Badillo during the 70s and the 80s, and he never became mayor.
No.
So this is the first one that, even when it's not traditionally a citywide position, it has a citywide influence throughout New York City.
Because she's going to be in the spotlight.
Because she's going to be in the spotlight, but she's going to be deciding things not only for her district, but outside her district. And she's also going to be getting the pressures and the demands from the whole city, because there are 51 council members. 50 of them are going to be knocking on her door constantly, saying, this is what I need, and I need your help. So it's really a citywide position.
What do we know about her background in terms of capability of handling this? We found that in a little bit of research that we did, we found that she's a very strong-willed person, a very capable person, and someone that lives in the Harlem community, and that she's extremely qualified. What can you tell us about her background?
Well, I think that she is extremely well educated. She went to Columbia University. I think
Good school.
Yes, she went also to Baruch. She is connected to 1199. So there are two different backgrounds. There is a background that has to do with labor, and there is a background that has to do with a more academic type of environment. Also, she comes from a family that is very well educated and from money. So seems that she has both worlds, especially through the labor involvement, because she worked in 1199 for many years. Therefore, having that context, it may help her balance certain things. When we talk about the two cities like we were talking before, well, you have someone that has basically live in or work with those two different cities.
More important, it's not a gift position. She earned it because she came up against a council member of Brooklyn, and it got a little heavy between them. But what I liked that when she was named as a speaker, there was a bit of a reconciliation between them, and I like to see things like that. That he went up to her and hugged her and congratulated her. So I think from that point of view, it seemed that was fair and square and deserving, and that they were, a branch of understanding.
Well, it's interesting because this is the first time that the selection of the speaker of the city council has been in the public. This is always something that is decided indoors. And one morning, the city of New York wake up and they have a speaker of the city council that nobody knew who was going to be.
Or pick.
And that was it, and people move on. This is the first time that this was like a citywide election. There were forums in different boroughs, which had never happened before. It was like people were voting for it. And the reality is not, that it was an internal process. And when you are in the middle of that process of selection of the city council, there are all these fights. All these fights always exist.
And collisions.
The only thing is that people don't know about it. And there are different interests, and they should be. It's 51 council members, and that's part of the process. After the speaker is decided, there is always a process of healing.
Yes. It's needed.
But it's not, it's needed, exactly, but it's practical because each one of these council members, they are going to be negotiating legislation that they want for the district, and they cannot approve that legislation unless they work with other people. Therefore, they have to put aside their differences in order to accomplish what they want to accomplish, because there is no other way. I mean, they still cannot like each other, but they can put their name in the same bill in order, because they will have to put their own name in the other person's bill in order for things to move in. So
to get it going.
The process itself helps the healing. I think that there is a process of healing, and is normal. It has always happened, this type of selection. The only difference is that this time it was in the open, because the mayor, for the first time, took sides in selecting the speaker.
The speaker.
And that is something that made it more public. But it has always happens like that. There is nothing new. The only new thing is that now people know what happens inside.
Well, it's going to be interesting, obviously, based on what you just explained, and I also feel in my research is she's extremely capable. We wish her the best of luck going forward, because she'll be part of the administration of new Mayor Bill de Blasio, and she's going to have a lot of challenges working with our constituencies and working with the other 50 members. And so we wish her the best of luck. Well, we want to thank you, because the second part of the program that we're going to do here is going to be a little bit different than what we talked about with de Blasio. So we want to thank you again for being a special guest.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right. And again, the second part of the program here, you're going to have the opportunity to see another interview that we did on the Queen's Grapevine. We'll be right back on the Grapevine.
If you